Finals 2007. Great to be here. Great to have you with us. And what a couple... Oh, there's a couple of legends here already, but what about a couple of the legends that are joining us tonight?
So excited.
Kevin Bartlett and Robert Deepey.
Two of the all-time greats who know a fair bit about the pointy end of any premiership season.
10 between them.
10 between them.
10 flags between them.
Norm Smith, a Brownlow.
All sorts of stuff.
Everything.
All kinds of stuff.
And you know
Couldn't
what?
be happier.
You know what neither of them did in all of those premiership victories and a couple of the losses? They never wore an away strip, a clash jumper in any of the grand finals. And word has leaked...
This is the big story.
Word's leaked that the AFL might be on the verge if, and it's a big if, Richmond get through to the grand final and Adelaide get through to the grand final. Adelaide finish on top, so they get the right to wear their traditional strip. Richmond might be asked to play in the grand final in a clash/away strip.
So a canary...
It's spot on you,
So
mate.
Thank you.
Spot
well
on.
said, everyone.
Thank you. So it'd be canary yellow with a black...
That's the one.
Right?
That's the one.
What's the fine?
Well, somebody told me today...
50 grand. I'll
50
cut
grand.
you a cheque. Like that. We will be playing in the traditional strip that we've won all 10.
You must be... I mean, you're a great target. We know that. You must be...
Mate, you've got to clash with the Crow strip because it's got 7 friggin' colours in it. How do you get around that? That's like your shirt.
Wow,
That's a clash strip right there.
that didn't take long.
No, it didn't take long at all, no.
I thought I'd get at least wait till 6-3.
Hey, by the way...
No, seriously. It's
what?
outrageous. It's out bloody outrageous.
Can I
seriously.
ask you, your two Carlton supporters, how would you feel if on the big day, on grand final day, your team had to take the ground wearing this? The worst jumper to ever take a football field, the famous M&M's jumper, and there's Rhino getting cheered off in a signature game. How do you reckon he feels with that photo on his mantelpiece for the rest of his life?
See, what if Carlton had to wear that in a grand final, Mickey? I reckon at the end of the game, players would definitely be swapping jumpers. Get rid of that.
You never wear that. But, I mean, it's an outrage. We've been sold a pup on this. I know we should only get too political and too serious.
Can I say this?
But they shouldn't. This is out of control.
What sold a pup, man?
I don't know where that's saying. It's an old saying my granddad used to tell me about. We don't need them.
If your granddad used to say it, I can't believe it's not in Latin. By the way. I don't know.
Can I say this?
White shorts is enough.
Can I say this? I'm not falling for this because this is a trap. What you're trying to do is get Richmond fans to get ahead of themselves. Because we won a final, you were so hoping we would lose the final and go out in straight sets.
Now we won a final. Did you? I didn't hear anything about it.
Go back to my place and watch the replay. You're trying to get us to get ahead of ourselves now, so when we don't, if we don't make the grand final, you can go, oh, look.
No.
Who needs a clash strip now? Oh.
I'll tell you what.
Do you know why we won't need the clash strip?
I know the answer to
Because
that.
Adelaide won't make it. There you go. That's why we won't.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you why I'm not setting you up for a fall? Because I reckon you're going to get there. And I reckon you're going to get there because your leadership at this football club, from the top down, from Peggy O'Neill through the CEO, Brendan Gale, to the footy team, is first class at this football club.
You're dead right.
I reckon the leadership's going to get you a long way.
It has never been better off the field, and I'll tell you that. We've been through a few different styles and modes over the years, but right now it's pretty good. And our on-field leadership, I believe, is as good as it's ever been as well. Look at this guy. Trent Cotchin, he's the captain, the skipper, well after everyone's gone home, doesn't know the cameras are on him. He's in the club rooms, cleaning up, doing the little stuff.
After the game.
After the games, going around. He's good at this. I think he's at my place doing my joint right now. And look at that. He doesn't have to be asked. He's doing the little things. I think this was something the All Blacks did originally, and other teams have cottoned onto it. And he goes over, he pops them into the bin.
That's not recycled. They're saying, by the way, as a Richmond captain, he used to pick up the pieces, so that doesn't... I think think it's very. I think it's very good leadership. And if you don't win the premiership, at least Richmond will win Tidy Team of the Year award.
Very
And that's a big one. That's a big one. You
Big
want
on.
that?
It shows how humble we are.
Did you say you didn't know the camera was on? You
Oh, mate.
You didn't know the camera's
You know
on,
the
did you?
camera's on.
So you guys-
He might as well have had a GoPro on his head.
Are we recording? Are we recording?
Can I just say this?
Go on.
And you guys probably wouldn't know much about this or have an insight into this because after the show, you generally go straight home.
Right.
Whereas some of us
We have families we love.
understand what it takes to be a good leader. And a strong... Oh, look, and there I am. At the end of every show... Oh, look out. I don't... And then...
Yeah, that's leadership. That is leadership.
I had no idea the cameras were on. I had no idea.
Hey, I'll tell you what. All jokes aside, it was a magnificent night last Friday.
Oh, yeah.
95,000 turn up.
Wasn't it,
Arguably
mate?
65 or 70 belonged to the Richmond Army. I mean,
And the sound was enormous. The fans are ecstatic. Oh, hello, there's a couple of himbos.
Now, have a look at this, Nicky. Now,
hey!
can I ask?
I'm very juvenile. How old are you?
Can I ask a question?
Oh,
Who's the gentleman on your right?
Chowie, my oldest friend in the world. We've been going to the footy now for 35 years.
And the lady on your left?
Who's my girlfriend?
If Richmond make the grand, no one can believe it, but anyway, if Richmond make the grand final,
Yeah.
and you get 2 tickets,
Yep.
Oh!
who are you taking?
Anyway, KB's coming up. KB's coming up. It's going to be a big night.
No, who are you? Honestly.
Well, of course I will take... I will step aside.
You're a chair.
Okay, well, I'll tell you a true story, and this is why I think we've never won anything since 1982. In 1982, I had a girlfriend at the time, and it was my first serious girlfriend, and she got me a ticket to the Richmond Carlton Grand Final. And I just thought, wow, what a girl. Anyway, on the morning of the grand final, there's a knock on my door. I open the door. There's this beautiful little girl, and she's opened the door. She's bawling. And I said, Libby, what's wrong? She said, I've just been diagnosed diabetic. I have to go straight to Frankston Hospital. And I say, so you won't be needing your ticket. And we haven't won anything ever since, so I won't be falling for that again. It's what I'm saying.
Hey, for the joy that Richmond supporters experienced last week, not on 1982, of course, there was the other side of the equation.
Well, this is the Geelong fans who aren't used to losing, and I think, well, large, and I have to say, the win was more significant because no side has terrorised us over the journey like Geelong. I've seen all their best performances, trust me, week in, week out. I've seen Gary Ablett Senior's best performances. As Joel Selwood said this week, he's been playing the game for nearly 10 years. He has never lost. That's the first loss he's ever had to the Richmond Football Club. So I don't think their fans were fully prepared, but they've had a bit of a crack at us. They've said, the Richmond fans were terrible. We were frightened for our lives. What a bunch of boring...
Oh, but because of last week's game.
Last week's game, and I think, gee, we've gone from a laughing stock for 35 years to frightening in one go.
The greatest thing about last Friday night having 70,000 Richmond supporters there means that it was safe everywhere else in the world. People should never forget that. They should never forget that.
Very good point.
There was a complaint by a one Geelong fan on, I think, 3AW it was, who said, I couldn't believe the booing. The booing was insufferable. I just want to point out, at Simmons Stadium, they have a competition where the person who boos the loudest gets a zinger burger. So let's put it all in context. I'll tell you who took it harder than everyone. That's Catman. Catman for Geelong. I have a look. He's a famous supporter. And here's Harry kicking for goal. Praying. Catman.
Oh, no.
And that's a crazy cut. Where there's no end. No! Look, honestly, I'm not sure if he's upset or just coughing up a furball. It's hard it's hard to tell.
Hey,
don't
look,
you?
Sorry for Catman, by the way. He was there by himself only because both his parents were stuck up a tree. So let's keep that in mind, by the way.
Hey, the quality of football played on the first week of the final, let's be honest, wasn't fantastic until we got to Saturday night. Adelaide Oval, we got an absolute corker. Port Adelaide v West Coast, the extra time decision to Luke Shuey. He kicks the goal, of course. This has been spoken about for 6 days since last Saturday
it's
night.
a boyhood dream, isn't it, to kick a goal after the siren after getting a dodgy free kick? It's everyone's dream. That's a good kick.
Look at that. Those tackles are just as high.
What's afterwards?
And look at that. Oh, there's another free.
They were great scenes. They were great scenes.
Well, they were great scenes, and no great joy.
You'd want to forget. I tell you, if you're a Port Adelaide fan, you'd want to forget that night. You'd want to wipe it clean, have a clean slate.
You
going.
would, especially if you were this guy who actually proposed to his girlfriend early on.
Oh, no.
Look, he's gone down on one knee quicker than Luke Shuey. and there he is. And in a footnote, they were divorced before extra time, which is, and fined $9,000 for a pitch invasion.
Fair enough to you to clamp that stuff out. Hey, that was, of course, before the game. And this is something you might be able to talk about, Andy. Is that that was before the game? After the game, though, the losers' dressing room.
Never a fun place.
It must be a tough place. No. And Mark Soderstrom had the unenviable task of going down to the Port Adelaide room, and he's talking to Ollie Wines, and I thought he nailed it.
Chat with Ken, obviously he's just released the boys from out of there. Was it absolute disappointment? Oh, it's an understatement, understandably, but...
He then went over to the West Coast rooms and then asked if it was total jubilation over there. Hey, Murray, that must be tough then.
No, there's nothing worse. The winners' rooms after a knockout final is about as bad a place in this job as you can find yourself in. I remember 92, after Geelong got knocked over by the... Malcolm Blight was crying in the post-game press conference, and to see a legendary figure like Blighty reduced to tears was particularly tough to see. So, no, there's nothing fun about it.
I'm sure you coming towards him with a microphone would have cheered him right up too. You know who I'd like to send... like I said, it's a tough time, but you know who I'd like to send into the losers' rooms from now on? Our reporter from the Gold Coast, Sarah Lingard. Yep. You should send her in.
Hi Gary, how's it going?
Hi guys.
Hello. Just wondering what the future holds for you, if you've made any decisions about next year.
Come on guys, it's not newsworthy.
Look at the intensity. Imagine here in the losers' room. Hey guys, how you going?
Sorry, Ollie.
Don't worry, Ollie. There's always next week, isn't there? You'll be right, Ollie.
Well. He'll get him next time.
There's a bit of sensitivity. I mean, she's got the requisite amounts of sensitivity required.
We'd like to get her down to be part of our show.
There were some telling images out of the first week of the finals campaign. None more so, I don't reckon, than the image that has emerged from the SCG during the Sydney Essendon game. This has been about the most talked about image of the week.
It has indeed, and this is the Prime Minister of this country nursing his grandchild while having a beer, and this, for some reason, has caused mayhem on social media. People have gone berserk and trolled him and said it's terrible. I mean, I can't believe it myself. It's obviously a mid-strength beer. and as long as that child is his, or no one to him, I think that's fine. You know?
Can't a man pretend...
Can't we do anything anymore? We're so uptight.
We are. Why can't a man just... A man can't pretend to be drinking a beer holding a baby he doesn't know anymore. Is that what you're saying? Is that what we've come to in this country?
Well, surely we're better than that, aren't we?
I think, look, you know, they've suggested that's less than great parenting. But I think there are more glaring examples, even on our home front down at Tigerland. Here's the Richmond captain, Trent Cotchin, who I think is a reasonably responsible man. Which camp does this fall into? Here he is, dancing with his child, throwing up in the air, and... Do you know what? I think that may explain why he's so bad at tossing the coin. Practice! No. Practice makes perfect!
Terrible.
Mate, I've got no problem with that.
What?
No problem with that at all.
Oh, well, it's an accident.
Well, it's only because there's an age-old rule, right? Yeah. If you drop a kid... If you drop a kid, the least you can do, though, is try to break its fall with your foot. That's what you got to do if you drop a kid.
Hey!
That's what you do. Everyone knows that.
Got to throw it out. There it is.
There it is.
Got to try and break the form. No, that's good parenting.
Time for a break.
We need to get a break out of the way on the other side of this. Tiger legend, 5 times.
Oh, no.
He's playing in premiership side with them. The one and the only Kevin Bartlett, everyone.
How you
it's not a Mick.
Here we have Helen D'Amico from 1982. We always remember she famously ran onto the ground. What?
No, it's not Helen D'Amico. It's another Lawman classic, and of course it's Betty Cuthbert, who was the golden girl of the 1956 Olympics in that famous pose where she crosses the line. Who can ever forget it?
Cuthbert. The Lithgow flash. I loved her.
No, that was Marjorie Jackson, Sam.
What?
Lithgow
Are you
flash.
sure?
Pretty
Well,
sure.
you'd know. You dated her.
I find this one of the most classic Johnson pieces. Captures Kevin Bartlett in full flight, celebration mode. I think it's a wonderful piece.
You know what I love is you can tell which way the wind's blowing by the direction of his hair. It's like a weather vane. He was an old man then, wasn't he?
He was. He was even as a young man. He was an old-looking young man.
I've seen a statue of the first Lord Mayor of Melbourne, and he looks older.
Welcome back to the front bar. He was a man who made the MCG his very, very own. And despite the fact that he's suffering a little bit of laryngitis, he's going to make the front bar his own tonight. Please make him welcome Kevin Bartlett, everybody.
Well, I do have to apologise because I do have laryngitis, but I'll do my best. I sound a bit like Don Corleone. All I need is a white cat to pat.
You're doing
Well,
magnificently.
when we heard you weren't coming in, we were going to go and get your statue and put it in. That statue to me, that's where I meet every time I go to the G now. That's my Christ the Redeemer. that is my Lincoln Memorial. That is. I went past there last week, and as I was leaving, I thought I might see signs of stigmata. It's just such an important piece. Now,
Where are you?
you're on the mat. How sick are you? Are you going to be okay?
Yes.
Because you've waited 35 years. Just hang in there for another 16 days, KB. Hang in there for another 16 days and we might get there.
Well, as we all know, it's Tiger time. We know that it's Tiger time. We know that, don't we?
We do know that.
And do you know there's people walking around Melbourne that don't realise that Richmond's in the grand final? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Some people don't know we're in the grand final.
They don't recognise it yet.
They don't know.
They will get with the plan.
We rate the Tigers, aren't we?
Well, they're a zero super team. You've been saying it for a long time.
It's Tiger time. We know that.
Now, have you been looking after yourself? Have you been sitting at home? You know when you cook, you should have soup. Soups are good. And there's one in particular I think you should have a go at.
The Bible?
It's Kevin Bartlett's hungry vegetable soup. This is from Who Rules the Aussie Cookbook, and that was yours. Do you remember posing for that incredibly understated photo? And can you still make the hungry vegetable soup?
I look like Bugs Bunny.
Do you know, I can imagine being served that.
I can't recall that. Was it a bestseller?
I can imagine being served that soup with one of those big hairs in it that you used to comb over. Waiter, there's an incredibly long hair in my soup.
It's a good point, Mickey. It's a good point.
It was a great hairstyle, wasn't it, the comb over?
Now, you've been hot and bothered about the away strip. We might wait till Dipper's out here and we'll ask you both about that. Can you hold fire on the away strip, or do you want to get into it right now?
Well, I think it's a disgrace.
It is.
It's a disgrace.
I guess we're getting into it right now. Is the answer to that question?
Richmond don't play in grand finals in away strips, let me tell you that. Yeah. What we should do, doesn't matter what the AFL says, we just run out onto the ground. We play in our traditional strip. Doesn't matter. Tell them to get stuffed. What are they going to do? Stop the game?
No,
they're
they're
not
not.
going to stop the game, are they?
Well,
They can't stop the game.
they might fine us, KB.
Oh, who cares? We get $1 million for winning the grand final. I mean, what are they...
Yes! Revolution!
Hey, speaking...
Can I just say that? Yeah, it's good to have that on the record. KB says Richmond don't play grand finals in away strips, you know what I mean? And
That's
that
true.
That club has taken that to the nth degree in the last 37 years. You just haven't played grand finals full stop, KB, so that's even better.
When you did, Kevin, towards the end of your era, 1980, this is like a banner game for you in the minds of so many people. You kicked 7. When I asked you to go back to 1980, how vivid are the memories for you of this day?
This was just...
Let's Stan Magro. You get him later.
That's 50 metres.
I don't think they had him in those days, did they?
Should have got reported and got about 12 weeks for that.
You embarrassed him in a minute. You gave him, what, 4? They tried about 4 on you on the way through this day.
Well, I kicked 7 that day, but you can't play well all the time. You know, occasionally... You've got to have an off day occasionally.
Every now and again.
Got to have an off day.
Look at that. This is magical stuff.
Ray Byrne, he couldn't get near.
How many opponents did they try on you, KB?
15.
And look at this.
We're going
running
through them all,
past.
KB.
Imagine how Roachy would have felt had he not given you that handball. The mouthful you would have given him had he not given you.
What about this one? This is the one.
What's going on here? Turned him inside. No!
Cop that stand.
Acceleration. And there it is. That is
No one does the blind turn anymore, do they?
They do not, no.
That's something.
And what I like too is you never once looked inboard.
Never.
Just to see if that was it.
Never.
You just locked on. It was like that was it. You were on, wasn't it?
Well, someone said to me, have you ever thought of handballing? Well, I mean, we know handball's it's a fad, it's a craze. It's never going to last in the game. You know that.
You nailed that.
You just kick the goal and go back to the centre. That's
I
all
like
you do.
your thinking,
That's all
mate.
you do.
We've got a magnificent piece of play here, KB, that perfectly proves your point about why would you bother even handballing or looking inboard when you get the ball here, KB, and I know you get the ball here, do you even think about...
What are you
KB,
Kevin.
can I just ask, was this a chance when you possibly could have looked inboard, KB?
Kevin, even you must be embarrassed. Come on.
Yeah.
I missed it by that much.
Hang on.
What?
You take that back. That was a Norm Smith medal winner, and you know what? He did handball that day. You know how many times?
How many?
Once.
I don't believe it.
And I've got it here. Here it is.
What? I don't believe
Just
it.
to prove it.
No.
Have a look.
Look away,
I'm not
Kevin. Look
joking.
away, Kevin.
No, it's a Barry Rawlings, bang. That is handball of the century.
No,
Kevin, what are you doing?
that's been photoshopped. That's what people do these days.
Can I ask you, do you regret that? Do you ever lie awake at night going, I could have had 8? I just should have held on.
It was stupid, wasn't it? It was stupid. It was stupid.
It was great.
But it was just stupid. It makes me sick looking at it.
Yeah, that's what got you sick. The thought of handballing. Have some more tea.
That rare footage of that handball, KB's handball, it's like the footage of the Tasmanian tiger that we've been seeing later on. People have seen it, but they don't really believe it. Hey, speaking of photoshopping, though, Kevin, can we just take it? You were called. Just obvious question. When did they start calling you hungry?
Well, Lou Richards called me hungry. I think it was a term of endearment.
Absolutely.
But, being a little rover, they used to think that you're hungry and wouldn't pass off the ball and all that sort of stuff, But I was a great team man.
Oh, yeah. So it'd be fair to say, it's on the...
I had a handball twice to myself. At training.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, KB, considering a couple of your footy cards, they went with you handballing. Now, this one here, Kevin, can I just suggest that you don't even know what you're about to do?
What is this handball you talk of?
It looks like the first time you've ever tried a handball in that photo.
Is that the biggest football you've ever...
I say the footballs were bigger then, weren't they? The footballs were bigger.
That's twice as big as this Sharon is today, I reckon.
No doubt about that.
Actually, when you took the photograph, I just dropped it on the ground.
And yet they tried to do it again to you, Kevin. They tried to do it a couple of years later. They got you handballing. Now, Mickey, you've got a theory on that.
Well, you would rather handball out of ground than pass that on the table. That's a deliberate out of bounds there, isn't it?
Kevin, if
I can't have it, nobody can.
you go to the wide shot, Kevin, there are 17 teammates waiting inside.
Well, I got $20 for that.
KB,
They paid us $20.
You kicked. Look, we're having a laugh. You're one of the greatest players of all time. You kicked 778, 777 behind. 778 goals, 777 behinds. Of all the goals you kicked, can I put to you that I reckon that one you kicked in the 1967 grand final when you're a wee slip of a lad, I reckon this has got to be very, very high up on your list of favourite goals, wouldn't it?
Probably my favourite goal.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a 67 grand final. It was the first grand final I played in, and I think we were 3 points in front.
Have a look at that.
And there was only a couple of minutes to go in the game, so it turned out to be an important goal at that particular point of time. So Richmond hadn't won a premiership since 1943, and that was 23 years later. So it was and just being, I think I was 20 years of age at that time, so it gave me a great deal of pleasure.
A start of a fantastic era at Richmond, and young kids today don't realise what a powerhouse Richmond was back in those times. I want to ask you about your relationship with Jack Dyer, if I could, for a minute, because I remember going to Jack Dyer's funeral up at St Ignatius, and it was a great celebration, really, and there were people from a lot of different clubs there. You spoke beautifully about Jack Dyer, and you told a number of stories. One that I remember in particular, I think, involved you as a young boy playing on grand final day, and I think he was playing in the seniors maybe, and you were in the early game. That's right, and you got knocked out early. Can you pick up the story, please?
Well, it was the under-19s final. It was the first final I played in for Richmond in the under-19s, and it was against Geelong. And the very first bounce, because it was about 8:15 in the morning. My parents were still waiting to get into the game when they bounced the ball. And the very first centre bounce, someone come from behind me and crashed into me.
And they knew you were a young kid at that stage. They were coming.
Yeah, I was 16, I think, something like that, 16, 17. And I got a bad knock on my hip, and they thought I'd broken my pelvis, and so they took me off the ground. So by the time my mum and dad got into the ground, I was in the ambulance on the way to Prince Henry's Hospital. But whilst I was laying there on the bench waiting for the ambulance to come and get me, Jack Dyer walked in. We're talking about probably 8:15 in the morning. So here's the great Jack Dyer. What he's doing there watching the under-19s at 8:15 in the morning is quite incredible. And he walked in, and I had never ever met Jack. I'd only seen him on TV, of course, I knew about him. And he walked in just to see me as an unknown Richmond player who had been badly injured at that particular point of time. So it was just fantastic. He came in and he said, "Look, you'll be okay, son." He said, "Be no problems." He said, "You'll be up and around tomorrow." I was in hospital for 2 weeks. I thought Jack knows a lot about broken collarbones, but he knows nothing about broken hips.
No, there was the point. He'd come, the greatest legend of the club at the time, had come and found you out.
Yeah,
I just thought that was such a moving story.
Well, to think that, as you say, a man of his stature would make his way down to the rooms to say hello to a kid he's never ever met in his life was fantastic.
That was great. Hey, quick pop quiz. Put your hand up here if you're at the MCG on grand final day in 1982.
Was it?
Yes, KB. Now, what do you remember from that day? We were all there. What's your abiding memory, apart from the loss to Carlton? What is it?
I suppose my most vivid memory is Helen D'Amico.
Is Helen D'Amico
coming onto the field now? She ran past me. She was a magnificent blonde or brunette, depending where you're looking at the time. And completely took away. We had a very young side in that day, and it took away our concentration. David Parkin brought on Helen D'Amico from the Crazy Horse Salon in Adelaide. He's the greatest cheat in the history of football.
That's right, and if you didn't know, you could tell it was 1982 just by the amount of hair in the downstairs pub. Really, just by he can do it, but I'm out of order. Is that what you're saying? It was a day. What was your memory? Because you were there as well. Now, what were you?
I just remember I was only 8 years old, and I just remember that's the first time I'd ever seen a naked woman. And little did I know at the time it'd be the last time I seen a naked woman. But that's I'm only joking. I do all right. But the thing is, what I remember though, as a young boy sitting in the stands with my dad, it was quite surreal to look out there and see what was going on. And I remember saying to Dad, I said, "Dad, can you believe what's going on out there?" And he said to me, he goes, "Yeah, I know. What the hell's Mike Fitzpatrick doing at centre forward?" So he was equally as astonished as I was.
Got to get a break out.
Can you hang about for us?
Yeah.
You're doing great.
He's going to push on. What a joy it is. More KB after the break. When we come back as well, we're going to be joined by another Premiership superstar as well, Robert Di-Domenico.
The 400 Games Week of Celebration commences on August the 4th when he plays his 400th VFL game at the MCG against the Magpies. A guard of honour will be formed by both clubs, and Hungary will run through the biggest banner of all time. And while Kevin might take it all in his stride, how's his wife Denise going to handle it?
Now on the football field we see Kevin's good points. What are some of his bad points at home?
Very untidy. Leaves his clothes everywhere.
Are you proud of him?
Oh yes, very. Yes.
And are you glad you married a footballer?
Yes, especially when it's Kevin.
here in Australia.
What a great relationship. You're very lucky, aren't you?
Very, very lucky. Of course, my great mate Billy Barrett took his girlfriend to the preliminary final in 1967 and sat down next to me. And he watched the game and I watched his girlfriend. And I've been married to her for 47 years.
That was the week of your 400. I mean, when you're a kid growing up in Paran, or where'd you grow up in Paran, didn't you?
South Yarra.
South Yarra. Could you ever believe that you were going to play 400 plus games of footy, KB?
That was the biggest banner ever too, wasn't it?
Did I believe I was going to play 400 games when I was, 8? Yeah, of course I did.
How did you do? I mean, the durability was crucial. You tripped over your banner, which wasn't a great way to start.
Yeah, but that wasn't my fault. It was the world's biggest banner at the time.
It was the world's biggest banner.
After that particular banner, they limited the size of banners because it was so big, and it was so big that to hold it up, they had a bit of 3 before going along the bottom, and they forgot to tell me about it. So when I came out and hit the banner, I went bang. That's why I fell over.
Yeah, it did. Now you were the first to break that barrier, the 400-game barrier, and you know, I know, everyone knew there was only one sensible way to honour that achievement, and that was to enter a harness race with Jack Dyer, which is what you did.
This is the week of the game.
This is the week of the game.
I think that was the night before the game.
What?
Bit of rough housing. What could go wrong? That's.
So they ask you to jump behind a horse that runs at about 60 miles an hour the night before a game of footy, your 400th game.
It was a little Shetland pony.
Who won the race?
It was out at Moonee Valley, and Jack got me on the line.
Did he?
Yeah, he got me on the line.
That's got a whiff of the fine cottons about it myself, if I can say that.
The 400 Club, though, Kevin, for years it was just you, and then Tucky joined you in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Dustin Fletcher. But now, everyone does it.
But doesn't it?
What about here's you? Well, it's either that or the Rolling Stones. We don't really know. here's you, Kevin. And tell us about this, mate. This must have been a special photo opportunity here for you.
Well, it was a great day. Boomer Harvey, of course, breaking the record and also playing his 400th game. And there's Tucky, of course, and Dustin, Dustin Fletcher. So it was a great day for us to get together. And first of all, to congratulate Boomer. Of course, they've stuffed it up a little bit because every year, of course, I used to meet Tucky in a red telephone box on the corner of Elizabeth Street and Burke Street. But unfortunately, because Tucky didn't talk and I talked rubbish.
You're back in business now. What I like is how you've given so much back to the game over the years, and I'm talking specifically about the Junior Supporters Squadron.
Yes, the Junior Supporters Club.
And let's have a look at you doing it for the kids. This is some light entertainment, the likes of which I've never seen before. Have a look at this, bloke.
You'll love a carrot.
You were a man of 1,000 faces. Was this all for the kids?
This is all for the kids, yeah. It was.
It's got a touch of the Benny Hills, a touch of the goodies.
There's a little bit of that there. Junior Supporters Club used to be on, and, and Sandy Roberts used to host it, and I was sort of like his co-host, and I used to go out and do little sketches with the footballers, and I used to write it, direct it, produce it, and act in it.
Again, very hungry. You're very hungry.
So Channel 7 owes me about $750,000, I reckon.
Cough up, Channel 7.
Clearly one of the game's great on-field and off-field entertainers, and I can't believe we've had another of its great on-field and off-field entertainers who's been with us for most of the night. And we've actually forgotten to introduce him. He's over behind the bar. Please make welcome the one and only Robert TPM.
I've had a bit of a crack at you blokes, using my brand to promote your show. I mean, this is the first time I've been on the show, but I've been on the show 14 other times.
Every week, I think.
Every week. But nice to be here, boys.
Now, do you two, I have to ask, was there any crossover? Did you ever play on each other, KB? Do you remember him from your...
I don't know him at all.
Who's this
I got a feeling Dipper played on me once, I think, out at Waverley, and it was really hard. It was really, really tough. I can recall I really struggled to kick 6 that day. and then they moved.
It was a tough day for me. Can you imagine? Trying to chase him,
Yeah.
But I
Then they
started in
moved you
75.
off me at half-time, Dip.
Yeah. I started in 75 as a young fella, and I think you finished 82, 83, so we would have crossed paths, but never on each other, no.
Once. We played once out at Waverley.
I don't
That's when
remember.
I kicked 6. I kicked 6 on you.
Did you?
So 10 flags between you, 10 flags between the two of you. Only 4 teams won flags between 1967 and 1983. 2 of the teams were the teams that you played for. Remarkably, Hawthorn and Richmond have never played against one another in a final. Isn't that that's remarkable?
No, they're scared of us.
We played 7 grand finals in a row, so I'm not quite sure where Richmond were. So.
I'll tell you one thing, Dip, it won't be this year.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, because we're in the grand final, are we, Mick?
Well, I'm going to speak to you a little later about this.
I wanted to say, you're right, Dippy. You have featured rather prominently on this show, and we're going to let KB go soon and to rest, and you're going to come over here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but we just wanted to play though, one of our favourites here at the front bar. It's a piece of footage from you at a coin toss in 1994 that your throw at the end of the coin toss back to Sandy in the box has become iconic on the front bar for this reason.
Paul's called heads and tails it is. OK, Chris has won the toss and is kicking right to screen. So once again, Sandy, football's the winner here tonight.
Yes! Get up, everyone! There it is! Standing ovation. Everyone get up. Get up, you lot. Standing ovation.
Do you know how hard it was being a Patriot right back in those days? Football was the winner. I don't know what I was saying.
Hey, Dipper, one question we asked KB. If you ever were asked to play in a grand final and you played in lots of them in an away strip... in an away strip, what would you and your rest of the Hawthorn teammates, those great premiership players that you played with, what would they have said?
I would have worn anything.
Seriously?
I would have gone out bare-chested, for the team. And at the end of the day, you're playing with each other. But it never happened for us because we just wore the Hawthorn strip. But I can see what's happening. But, if you've got to wear an away strip, wear it!
Rubbish.
Yeah, rubbish. Hey, Dip, stick
You're in
around.
a grand final.
I know, mate, but it means a lot to the support. It means a lot to the fans,
sure it
true
does.
fans of the footy club. That's what you reckon too, isn't it?
Well, you've got to wear your traditional jumper because the Richmond jumper is famous, as you know, Mick.
Indeed,
the black jumper with a yellow sash.
I understand. You've almost got the yellow jumper with the black slash on it.
That image.
And that's what Richmond plays in.
Dip, you're coming over here in a moment. There's a lot of stuff we want to speak to you about. We'll get your thoughts, KB, before we wrap it up. There are 2 big semi-finals to be played this week. Knockout finals, of course, Saturday, 6:30, the first semi between the Giants and the Eagles. And there's been a really significant change to the Giants team. Tim Taranto comes back in, really promising young play, but Stevie J's the big one that's come back in for
there it is.
Mumford and Cameron, 2 big outs. Here are the Eagles coming over. Wellingham comes back in for them for Paddington. Stevie J, KB, did they have to make the call? Did they make the right call on that this week?
I think they have because they've been too big in the past, and I think it's going to work in their favour that Mumford is out, and also Cameron. I know they've been good players, but they've been top heavy, and Stevie J is going to give him a bit of mobility around the forward line. And Tim Taranto is a very, very good young player. He's quick, and unfortunately he's had an injury, but he'll be a star for the Giants. So I think that's good for the Giants.
Would you be shocked?
They're too big.
Would you be shocked? You've been calling them Winks all year on SEN. You've been saying they're unbeatable. How shocked would you be if they went out in straight sets?
Well, they've had an interrupted season, haven't they? Really, with a lot of their players have been injured, in and out all the time. But and even now with Mumford out and also Cameron, although I think it will help them, I'd be surprised. I think they'll win. I think they'll win on the weekend.
KB, I just want to thank you for coming in. We know you were genuinely ill today, and at one stage we thought it wasn't going to happen, but we're so glad you did. But we were about to go. Can I just ask, Tigers, can we do it? Are we up and about? Where are we? What's it mean?
Well, I've been sitting down today. I've been writing out a list of people who can unfurl our premiership flag. So I mean, I've got you on the list.
We're on, yes.
I've got you on the list, but look, it's only a formality. It's a pity. It is a pity we've got to have these other games this week because it's wasting everyone's time.
That's it.
So the Tigers get there on grand final day. It doesn't matter whether it's... let's hope it's Sydney because then we don't have to worry about running out and costing us $50,000 at the wrong jumper. If it's Adelaide, it makes no difference. It'll be like 1980. It'll be around about 82 points, I reckon.
82 points. We can beat anyone on the G,
we can beat anyone, anytime, anywhere.
Kevin, you are one of the genuine greats of the game. Your contribution to football is endless and it is is about as big as anybody. We absolutely concur with Mick. We thank you for coming onto the show. Kevin Bartlett, our special guest for a huge couple of weeks at Sydney for the Richmond Cricket Club. We're going to break out of the way here on the front bar thanks to Carlton Draft, the number one tap beer in Australia. When we come back, the big fella over yonder is going to join us over here. The brewery, Fresh Carlton Draft, the big fella Robert Di Domenico joins us at the main desk now. It is a lot of people. I know you like to be called Mr. September. You like people to. Oh, sorry about that. It was accidental. I didn't mean that. This has been the month that you've shone as bright as anyone. 5 flags, of course. The 1986 Brownlow. You and your teammates did it all at this time of the year. There'd be a lot of people who would know the stats and know you as the personality, but may not be old enough to remember you as a player. Some would.
Here, have a look at this, mate.
You were Dusty before there was even Dustin Martin was even thought of. Have a look at this goal.
Watch this goal. Watch this goal. Oliver Andrew went back. Look at this. Bang.
That's Bruce Dooley.
You're not allowed to do that to Dooley. Watch what you do to Roger Merritt next. I mean, these are not chumps that you're getting rid of here. Watch you shrug Roger Merritt.
Yeah, please, other way. Please.
Get out of the way. And then the finish.
Oh, stop it!
Strong as an ox.
But then we all know the Dustin Martin fend-off has become synonymous. Yeah. Have a look at this.
Look at this one.
Trevor Poole, bugger off.
And run away. And run away.
I swear, I mean this. There was before Dustin Martin started doing what he did. You were.
I had 35 possessions that day.
This is back when the wing was a genuine position, and some of the most exciting players in the game at the time were all wingers.
Well, they were. I used to play against Merv Nagel and Dougie Hawkins, Dancing Doug. Right. A wonderful player to play against.
Robbie Flower.
Robbie Flower, these sort of guys. But I sort of got on the wing accidentally because I had a really shocking half-back flank in a couple of weeks, and then Normie Goss, the great man, said, I just put him on the wing for Christ's sake, and the next thing, I became one of the greats.
Was there one that...
That's how it happened.
That's how it happened.
Can I follow up on that? You did become one of the greats, but would it be fair to say though you were no golden child, were you? You had to work at it. When you started down there.
Work.
You weren't...
Work. I had to lay the concrete down, I lay everything down there.
It was a big team, wasn't it?
You evolved into a good player, didn't you?
I did. I remember John Kennedy, when I first played my first game in 1975. I was at the club for about 7-8 weeks. I played a couple of under-19s, a couple of reserve games, and then Lee Matthews got... Well, he didn't get dropped, he was injured, so I was 19th man, and he said to me, you can't play, son, but you can get the ball. And I came on the ground, I was so excited, and he said, no fancy stuff, just get the ball and kick it long. I said, right, I can do that, no worries at all. I get on, Stewie Trott gives me a handball, I dodge one player, I bounce the ball, and Peter Knight's runs past, he goes, hey, I said, you don't even know my name, what's talking about? Peter Hudson's leading, hey, I said, bugger this, I'm having a shot for goal. 70 metres out, and I got dragged. And I didn't play for another 2 years.
Speaking about blokes...
What did we learn there?
Don't do anything fancy.
Speaking about blokes not knowing your name, is it true that in '78 you crossed paths with Barassi in the grand final parade and he didn't know who you were? Is that true? He didn't know your name?
No, true story. And Ron, I know you're watching, my dear friend. Back in those days, the parade wasn't as the parade today. We used to hang outside Maya. I used to get some chicken sandwiches and a bit of a cup of tea, whatever. And it was our first one, of course, well my first one, 1978. And I walk in and Ron Barassi said, what's your name? And I said, you'll find out tomorrow. And then I just played my normal game and got best on ground.
Well, people did find out exactly who you are.
Do you know what I got for that?
What?
A dozen bottles of beer and a pewter mug. And my father still got the dozen bottles under the house.
You didn't get the Norm Smith?
Norm Smith came in 79.
How good's that Italians? They throw nothing out, do they?
Nothing.
Still got it.
Still there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what you did win, and that was the Brownlow medal in 1986. And is it fair to say you went there not expecting to win? In fact, judging from this acceptance speech, I would say it was a bit of a turn-up for you.
Did you give yourself any chance early in the count?
No chance whatsoever. I came here for the free feed, actually.
And by the look of you, you've been to a few Brownlows since, I would say.
That's a free feed, Nick, you know. Well, that was an amazing night for the club because it's Hawthorn's first ever Brownlow medalist. Now, here I am.
Is that true?
At the time,
I had no idea.
Think about all the. I mean, with absolutely all.
We had a bit of a kick to kick at the MCG. The grand finals get a chance to play on the MCG with your mates. I had a bit of a kick, Dunstall and Brewer and the boys. And I said, let's go to the Brownlow. It was a Southern Cross. I think I picked up my wife Cheryl. Baranya, I got in after entree. Look up there, I got a couple of votes up there. And I remember Jeezy saying before we left training, Platten, Dermot, Tuck, Dipper, come over here. If I bloody see you once on TV this week, if I hear your bloody voice on the radio, you won't be bloody playing. We got it, because we got beaten by Essendon the year before. Then I go to the Brownlow, and of course I stand up and I win the Brownlow, Hawthorn's first ever, and I'm standing there. All I'm thinking is about seeing, and Jesus' family's going, Jesus.
I've got to get dropped this week.
But anyway, I just went on and played a great game.
Indeed.
Picking up a pattern to the way most of your stories finish, by the way. Hey, Dipper, you were...
Just Google it.
Congratulations. That must have been amazing, though.
Yeah, it was.
And obviously ecstatic. And I remember the speech. You charmed the audience, right? You were obviously ecstatic. The guy you shared it with, Greg Williams, maybe not as happy to share it with you, Dip. He's won a Brownlow as well, by the way. He's not handing over last year's. What do you remember from there?
When you say much to each other, he's the dirtiest player ever won to win a Brownlow.
Come on,
no, he wasn't happy, wasn't he?
Did you just say he's the dirtiest player?
No, I didn't say that.
I thought that's what you just said.
I think you did.
Oh, did I? That just came out. That just came out. I'm sorry. Go, Diesel.
I reckon you'd go close to being there.
Yeah.
While we're on that.
Oh, really?
No, that's exactly.
Well, have a look at this.
Bang. One.
Look at this.
All right, one in my life.
Okay, one. Okay.
Oh, that's a fair butt.
Right.
A salmon.
Bang.
I got off.
Right.
Even Lee Matthews is going, hey.
Let's play on.
And then pour up Brian Royal.
Brian Royal in the mud.
Kissed him.
I'm not saying that we want to have blokes lifting arms and whacking blokes in the head. Right? I'm not saying that. But has the game lost something with the physicality? We know we don't want head highs. Right? I'm not saying forearms to heads, right? But you played a physical brand of footy. You used your body and you hit hard. We understand safety's paramount. Do you reckon the game's lost something?
No, I think the game's evolved, obviously. It's really a fast game now.
Yeah.
You know, and the players really need to protect themselves. They're bigger, they're stronger, back in those days, you had to have eyes around your head.
Yeah, that's
everywhere.
Right. It wasn't a one-way street, by the way. We've just picked out the ones where you were. But that was part and parcel of a day out.
Tim Watson said the exact same thing a couple of weeks ago. Did you had
back in those days, but I just went to Terry Danaher's 60th.
Yeah.
I was the only Hawthorn person there. I walk in and there's Glenn Hawke. I said, I've got 2 weeks for hitting you. and there's a big Ronnie. I've got 2 weeks for hitting you. No, you've got 2 weeks for hitting me. And there's Cameron Clayton. You won for sure. And there's Kevin Walsh. I've gone, g'day, mate, how you doing? and then Rocky Stone turned up. I said, g'day. I've got 5 weeks for hitting you. It was a great party.
One of the most cheery reunions I've ever heard.
Hey, Dipper, put your footy pundit hat on. I want your thoughts on the other semi-final. I've already spoken to KB about one, the second semi.
Yep.
Friday night here, live and free on the 7 Network. Geelong, are they going to go out in straight sets or not against the Swannies? No change, Sydney. Dan Menzel, who was such a subject of conversation last week, controversially left out of their first finals team, comes back in. 15 of 17, this mob have won.
Amazing. They've got momentum.
Are they a bit unstoppable, do you think?
Well, at the moment they are. I mean, it's not just the Buddy show, but Buddy's just finished off just superbly this year, kicking 10 the last round, and last week kicked 4 with a bit of a corky. With Geelong, we're not quite sure where they're at the moment, because the games at the MCG, they haven't done that well. But, look, they're a very proud side. It's going to be a great game.
You can only have one player for the rest of the finals campaign. You can only have Dustin Martin or Lance Franklin. Which one do you have in your team?
I'd have finals. You need to kick goals. Lance for me.
You take Buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, every day. I'll take Dustin as well, but
you can only have one, though.
You need to kick goals.
Dipper.
Okay. Did you yell at me then?
Yeah, I did. I'm really sorry, Dipper. I can't apologise enough. Yeah, good.
I accept it. It's okay.
You're not watching those highlights earlier on. Just relax, mate. Dipper, let's change it. Let's change tact and go back to one of the greatest games ever in the history of the game, the 1989 Grand Final. Dip.
How iconic is this vision, Sam?
Well, Dipper,
look at this for a ball.
This is you just taking on basically the entire Geelong team. Buse, Bruns, I think Gary Hocking comes in.
Watch Gary Hocking try and rip your hair out here. Look at that.
Dipper, where are your teammates?
Good question. Where are my teammates? Buddha Hocking.
Look at that.
You know, at that time, I was a bit crook at that time because...
well, look at this, and now you need a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Softy.
You know what? Dipper? It wasn't actually a drink. I had Sandemize because when I went to ground, somehow dirt got into my eyes, and that's why, and that's why I needed to... Somehow. I'm not quite...
Yeah, not sure how it happened?
No.
It really is an amazing game, though. If you go back and watch it, it's...
that's one of the great grand finals of all
If you think
time.
about it,
so much going
Ablett kicked 9 goals straight. 9 goals straight. Just at every angle. Yeah, it was just wonderful to see him do that. But we got away with a win.
Well, you mentioned Gary Ablett, and I'm about to show everyone one of the most courageous acts in the history of the game, and that's Dipper running back with the flight into Gary Ablett Sr.
God, look at that.
And Gary Ablett is going full pelt there.
So you might think that's brave, but on a footy field, when you get... There's 3 words you don't want to hear. It's yours, Dipper. Because you're thinking, your teammates are calling you, you're thinking,
Did you know he was coming?
Yeah. He was telling me too. Don't worry about that.
As he was coming?
Yeah.
Now, what happened there? What was the aftermath of that?
Well, I broke my ribs, which punched my lung at the time. I didn't really realise, but I was running around.
What quarter?
That was at 10 minutes of the first quarter. I just kicked the goal before that.
Got to be joking.
Anyway, because adrenaline, because all you want to do is touch and get involved with it in grand final. You just want to touch and get involved really quickly, you know. And the umpire gave a free kick, or I thought it was a mark, but anyway. Anyway, as I kicked the ball, Buddha Hocking runs past. He knows I'm crook. He just went bang on my ribs, and I've gone, I'm going to get you! I'm going to get you, Buddha!
Broken ribs and a
It's still a mate, and you played the whole game, Dipper. You were so courageous, and even to seeing it now, I don't know what's more painful, seeing that or those commercials you did for dinners. It is unbelievable. I wanted to point it out, mate. Well, you're a soldier.
Well, there was another telling piece of vision right at the end of it all, at the end of the game, when Gary Ablett gets up to receive the Norm Smith. Thanks, everybody on the way through. And as he's doing that, this was you leaving it. So you play the game out. Look, can you remember how much pain you were in? You couldn't even receive your medal, obviously. You had to go off the ground, and the medals were presented. We see Teddy up there.
The great EJ. Actually, as I'm going off the ground, EJ's come out and just got my hand and shook it as he normally would, you know.
No. As if you were injured enough already.
But I ended up going to the back of an ambulance, and I was in hospital within about 10 minutes, laying on a cold tray looking at these fluorescent lights, and it was just quiet. I was so calm and collected and thinking, OK, what's going on there? All of a sudden, someone grabs my hand, and it happened to be the priest of the hospital, and he's telling me a little bit about a story about the Bible and whatever, and all of a sudden someone just runs in, a nurse runs in, and she straddled me, and I thought, that's usual, but she cut the jump up the middle and gave me like a knitting needle and went straight into my chest, and she actually saved my life. Yeah. I was in hospital for 9 days. The first 5 days I couldn't see anyone. On the 7th day when I rose...
We're going to a break on that.
How can you take a break on that? We've got to get a break. Keep telling all of us the rest of the story in the break. We'll get a break anyway. Dipper's going to stick around. Mitch Multy up next.
And I can tell the goalposts are certainly fixed in, and there's plenty of cement in these goalposts at the moment. To tell you the truth, I don't know what the coach has said because I didn't go out there. It's always hard to talk after a loss, but a good effort by Carlton.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, bro.
Looking forward to a rip-snorting crackerjack of a game, buddy. Let's make. Hello. Can you hear me now? And of course, all my nose on my hand here. It's like the Three Musketeers here, I suppose. Don, Dennis, Drew, and Dipper, the 4 Ds. Anyway.
Welcome back to the front bar. The greatest of all time. I'll say hand on heart, the greatest of all time.
Well, you're a boundary rider.
Oh, no,
Is he considered the original and the best?
I got to tell you, absolutely. Boundary riding, like we had no training, right?
Oh, there's a bombshell.
There's a bombshell for you. And for about 11 years, I just had to make up stuff, right?
Yep.
Anyway, I got a little bit bored at times, so you had to make up stuff. Anyway, I wouldn't tell Bruce and some of the guy. Anyway, Dermot was playing for Collingwood at the time. He played 1 year, and we always hug each other. We love each other, whatever. He goes, "Oh, great, how you going, mate? Going really well." He said, "Before the bounce of the ball, I'm going to get Mickey Martin around the neck and put him on the ground." I said, "Oh, can I go with that?" He goes, "Yeah, no, right, let's go with it, you know." And thanks very much, Bruce. And the grass is green and the wind's blowing, and it's a Friday night. And it's pretty exciting. And Bruce goes, "I've just seen you talk to Dermot. I've got to tell you, Bruce, I know Dermot inside out, and his eyes were rolling. I think something might happen." As you're speaking, Dipper, he's got Mickey Martin on the ground. God, you blokes know each other so well. That was a set-up, Bruce. Sorry, mate, you know?
We've played the iconic Once Again Football's the Winner. That's the great... That'll never be topped. We've just seen a montage, Dip.
Yes, thank you.
There was one piece, though, of Boundary that we thought deserved its own air, and we're just wondering if you could take us through this. This is a cross you did. Well, while you're on the phone, Dip...
Do that here, Pete. As you can see, the rain is certainly coming down, and I'm with Nathan Brown trying to keep warm, but a very good
Hey, Dipper, what are you doing with the phone there?
I'm actually speaking to the son on the other side.
Right.
Anyway, no, joking there. But no, we've... sorry, here we are. That's better. I can hear you now.
Dipper,
what happened?
What are you doing? You're on the phone.
Who are you on the phone to?
I was having a bet. I can't lie.
Well,
speaking of which...
Speaking of having a bet, you've come to the right place.
It's time.
Oh, sure.
You want to get on this?
It's time for Mixed Multi.
You know how the multi works? I pick 4 legs. It comes home like a train. How many last week?
1.
Excellent. That's the way we roll. There's some big money coming in this week from offshore. Right. It's got the whiff of shake money to me. So you want to get on this one? This could go all the way. All right, here we go, people. First leg. Have a look at this footage. This is from the West Coast Port game. And you can see there's an inflatable doll in a West Coast jumper at the game. And you can see it doing the rounds. I would like to...
That's a male.
Wager that after the game, that doll was proposed to by a Port fan.
No, Mick, I can understand why you can't have that, but how about you take the Eagles to beat the Giants and I'll give you $2.90.
Lock it in, big boy. Here we go.
We're rolling.
This is the second leg. Have a look at this golfer. We've all wanted to do this. Have a look. Here he goes. No, don't do it, son. No. No. There it is. I'd like to wager on the day that man was caddying for Robert Allenby. Can I have that?
They're not going to take that at sports.
Why not?
You can have John Daly, who's playing all right at the moment, to win the Pacific Links Championship, and I'll give you $41.
Oh, baby.
$41.
It's all in John Daly's hands, people. All right, here we go, seg 3. I often get accused of going for the low-hanging fruit in this segment. Well, now I am. Have a look at this bit of footage. And... Hey. You reckon you're a tough guy.
Speaking of low-hanging fruit.
OK, I'd like to wager that was originally the alternative ending of the original Karate Kid movie.
We're not taking that, but how many you get on Golovkin to beat Alvarez, and I'll give you $1.66 to take that. You want that?
Give me a swift one,
hey,
right in the
just before you
goalies.
move on, hey, Sam, have you ever seen anything like that before, that bit of vision? Have you ever seen anything like it?
Every Christmas at my uncle's. What are you asking me these stupid questions for?
Do you mind? Here, come on, beat this baby home. Yes, we're officially off the rails here.
Can I come the uncles?
I've lost control of my own multi. Here we go. This is it. Let's beat this baby home with the final leg. Have a look at this bit of footage. We're going to soccer, the world of soccer. And... I'd like to wager that might have hurt, but it's still better than a kick in the nuts. Can I have that?
No, you can't have that. But how about you take Chelsea to beat Arsenal and maybe $1.80? What do you reckon?
Bag it up.
Right, this is what you come to. You put them all together, you get $3.55. What do you reckon?
Will you do it?
If you want to get on Mixed Multi at Sportsbet, download the app, look for Mixed Multi,
Hockey box.
megabits. No.
Lose my phone.
No. And you do it responsibly. Dip, it's a joy.
Thank you,
You feel like such a part of it.
What a great night
we've had. Great to have you. Thanks, guys. Robert T. Special guest for our last breakdown of the way. Thanks to the brewery, Fresh Carlton Draft. When we come back, the last shout.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, Nick.
Welcome back to the front bay. Here they are. Confirmation of the two big semis. No tomorrow for the two losers. Geelong, Sydney, Friday night from 7 o'clock here.
There's
on
more in that than people think, than people are saying. Geelong are a very proud side.
So who are you tipping?
That's on the G.
Well, who are you tipping, Sydney or Geelong?
Sydney.
And who are you tipping?
But I'm just saying that Geelong will... We haven't heard the last of Geelong.
Well, we haven't, according to you. You're saying Sydney's going to
They'll have a red-hot go, mate.
And Saturday night from 6:30, of course, up at the Showgrounds, the Giants are hosting the West Coast. So who's going to win that one?
The right to play the mighty Tigers.
Who wins that? Who will you be
Either
playing?
or.
Who will you be playing in the prelim?
I would suggest GWS. I think at home. We'll
Time
get through.
for the last shout.
And this week, the last shout goes to Collingwood's Mason Cox, who's just re-signed on a three-year deal. Well done to the big American Mason Cox.
Good luck to him.
Great news, another success story.
Another great story, by the way. People were debating whether the 3 years was too long, Andy. But I would say, why wouldn't you sign someone for 3 years when they've got this sort of stuff in their kit bag? You know what I mean? Like this sort of stuff. I think 3 may be a little bit unders there. By the way, not many players can do that.
Well, and given 3 years, this means he is guaranteed to be at the club longer than their current coach. Bucks. So well done again.
Gives him a chance to learn the rules too.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
No, you make a good point. He's got a 3 year and Bucks has got a 2. I wonder what the Collingwood president thought when he started doing the maths on that.
There it is, the last shout.
There you go.
Well
Well
done,
done,
Mason
Mason
Cox. You are a good man.
It's actually a great story, Murray.
No, it's a great story, Sam. It's a great story. That's it. We are done and dusted. Thanks to Dipper and particularly to KB for coming on the show.
Done. Thanks to you.
Thanks to you lot for watching and the lunatics in the studio audience tonight. Huge show next week. A man that we love here on the front bar, particularly Matthew Richardson, who's going to be joining us. But Ross Lyon is going to be joining us next week. That will be a front bar not to miss when the Fremantle coach joins on the show.
Thank you very much.
Next